Hello.
Hello, hello. How you doing tonight?
Oh, it's a beautiful end to a long week. We're in peak season, so that's when all the nasty callers come in.
Oh, that is fun. It is really cold over here.
It's let me see, 30 degrees here.
Uh, it's warmer over there than it is here. Now it's 23.
Okay, that's ugly. Let's see what it's supposed to get.
Yeah, it's been in the 20s for the last 3 days, 4 days now.
Now that's ugly. That's ugly. It's going to get down to 22.
Okay. Yeah,
4% chance of snow. Yeah, whatever. Oh,
we,
oh.
we've been getting little bits of snow. Um, Monday night, it actually snowed enough to where it stuck to the street, but by morning it was already gone. And since then, oh yeah, we have comments here.
Yeah, Tom says it's 25 there. Robert's here. Hey,
That
Robert.
sounds about right.
Yeah, so the funniest thing. Okay, so we all know how different religions or practices are treated.
There is actually something I want to bring up about that.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
yes,
So somebody posted on Facebook that asked if there were any witchy stores around here or crystal gem shops or tarot card shops. And the amount of comments that said, go to church and or find Jesus or whatever the case was. So we had a few people jump in and say before I didn't I kept quiet until well I told her where the shops were. And so one person said, go to church for what? So they can take your money, all they want's a rock. And then all the comments, and then one person said um something about those people are not welcome in this county. And I said, there's more of us than you think. And he said, yeah, it's because of all these witches down here. That's the reason that this basin, it's called I don't know, he said Devil's Globe or something. That's the reason we don't get snow here, is because all the witches that are here. I said, oh, you bet we control the weather. The fuck? Ugh.
yeah. No, nobody wants the weather.
Well, see, we've had snow 3 times already. Matter of fact, where it's shadowed out in the back is still snow. And where the dogs pee out there is still yellow ice. But, uh, tell me how we control the weather because I would be glad to do it. But the whole thing ended up with a Facebook group that we're all going to meet up at a coffee shop next Friday.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got some that are witches, we got some pagans, and all different realms of it,
Uh huh.
and everybody wanting to learn from everyone else, which is amazing. We have one practitioner that wanted to join us I really don't know why. But she's actually got a doctorate in like acupuncture and sound healing. So she's wanting to join us. And I thought, you know what? It, all these bad comments, all they did was out everybody that they didn't know was here. Did you share?
Yeah, I did share. I had to share to one group at a time because for whatever reason, when when the videos come onto
There.
my phone, it does not give me the option to share, like, comment, nothing. Just watch.
Yeah, because I didn't even get the notification that you shared it.
Yeah, I did share it out to several groups, including all of the things pages. Speaking of things, to let people know, hold on. Viewer comments will not be visible when streaming to a pro. Okay. Oh,
Salo, what is that?
I have no idea.
What did I miss? Explain, Lucy.
So there's something that I came across a couple of days ago. Um, it has to do with a passage in the Bible. Now, for those of you who know me, I do not follow religion. I don't follow the Bible. I don't dive into that stuff. Um, but that's not to say I'm an atheist. I'm not. I'm the kind of guy who is. I don't have any evidence to sway me to one belief or the other. So that's why I keep an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there is a passage in the Bible in Deuteronomy.
Okay.
Is that the correct pronunciation?
Yep.
Deuteronomy. Okay. Um, I'm trying to find it, but there is apparently a verse in here that specifically says, "Do not try to communicate with the dead."
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it right now.
I went down that rabbit hole once, but then there's also the rest of the Bible where people are communicating with the dead. So I don't even, it's like, okay, one way or the other, guys. Let's figure this out. Do as I say, not as I do. No, that didn't work on my kids either.
Right. So I'm trying to find it. I did find it once before on my phone, but I don't. Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. I'm in the wrong chapter. Here we go.
Okay.
Now I got it. So this is Deuteronomy 18.
1811.
No.
Oh.
Yes. Um,
Hey,
it
Angela.
it actually starts at 18:9. It says here, when you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, do not learn to imitate the detestable ways of the nations there. Let no one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter in the fire, which nobody should be doing that anyway, who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, engages in witchcraft, or casts spells, or who is a medium or spiritualist, or who consults the dead.
Mhm.
Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord, because these same detestable practices the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you.
That's funny because, I mean, it's not funny, but they put it in normal terms here. Don't put a spell on anyone. Oops. Don't get messages from those who have died. Oops. Don't talk to the spirits of the dead. Don't get advice from the dead. Oops.
I'm sensing a lot of oops here.
I'm I'm screwed.
I think we all are.
Well, so that leads me. Okay, first of all, let's go back to a person wrote the Bible. People wrote the Bible. Period. God did not write that Bible, and people are going to have their own will in that Bible. So, what are we scared of? What did they know? What are we scared of that, somewhere down the line, divination or, that we might discover our true power? I mean, what are we afraid of here?
I'm trying to find out just who wrote the book of Deuteronomy.
Robert says, yeah, but what if you can't avoid the dead talking to you? Exactly. You know what? I was upstairs by myself today. By myself. Zach in the basement, mom and dad gone. Broad daylight. I took lunch about 4:00 and I go to stretch out on the bed and play games. And I hear a man go, hello? Excuse me? So I get up and look out the window. It sounded, if he would have been there, he'd have been flying up here and the window would have been open.
Yeah,
But
you wouldn't have had the window open because of how cold it is.
no, but I looked in the alley anyway, thinking, okay. So I went to the other side, through my office window, looked out the front. Nobody. It was an old man. So I'm like, okay. I went downstairs to make sure nobody's here, came down to the basement, and I said, we have a man in our bedroom. He says, what? I said, we have a man in our bedroom. And he's talking. He goes, that's wonderful. Because he's always teasing me when some of my friends pass away, I'm going to have a bunch of men in my bedroom that are not living.
Yeah, you've already been forewarned of that.
I have, by 2. Yes.
And Antone makes a really good point. It is subject to errors in translations, which I firmly believe because most of the Bibles have been written more than 2,000 years ago and in a language that people don't speak anymore.
Yeah. And like Robert said, some of us hear it regardless. What are we supposed to do? And if you don't hear it audibly, you hear it in your mind. So what are we supposed to do? Make ourselves vegetables? Or, I mean, that's not how this works. This is not. And, there's lots of, we can make excuses for everything. Does the Bible say that? Yes, it does. Does it tell us what we're doing's wrong? Yes, it does. But they did it.
But the Bible is also full of contradictions.
Hi, Jill. It is. And that's where a lot of us, most of us were raised in church. And that's where a lot of us have turned away from the church, not necessarily away from it. We understand there's a higher being. We are not, it. But is it what they say in the Bible? And if it is, he's very vindictive. And I'm not for that.
One thing that I have kind of likened it to, again, because I don't have any evidence one way or the other.
Yeah.
But my theory is that the Bible could very well be the world's first novel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very epic novel, but still.
And I am not well versed on the Bible. I can tell you that right now.
Neither.
But from what I understand in history, that there was a number of men, I don't remember how many, were sent in to translate the Bible from whatever language it was. And they could not come out of there until they all had the same version. Okay, that's not going to happen. It's just not.
That was actually what that one guy that I was on the plane with for my dad's honor flight, the one I was sitting next to, he was working on 4 different languages of the Bible and trying to interpret or translate all 4 of them to where one language does not try to influence over the other.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's very hard to do that, but that's what he's been trying to do.
Yeah. And, that leads you to believe, okay, some people don't believe that, crystals and things have any kind of power. Well, okay. So do we not use quartz for our watches? Although that's pretty much gone. So is using the quartz on the TV. But we use those things for that reason. They're not a protection. They were there to help move the hands. They were there for their purpose. So if that can do that, why couldn't the other crystals do what they've said from the beginning of time that they do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not understanding that. And you can do like crystal healing on somebody that does not believe it. And you don't tell them what you're doing.
Isn't there one crystal that is actually used to help create a laser?
Clear quartz. That is the same one that is used on the watches and the TV. It's that one actually is used to purify, as far as healing. It's used to purify. It's used to purify evil. I don't know about evil, but they use it for purifying bad juju and energies, and But why were we given these things if we're not supposed to use them?
Right.
What, the devil walked around here and gave us all this to tempt us? Okay, if that's the case, why isn't it taken away? It makes no sense to me. None of it makes sense to me. And I may die and realize that I'm completely wrong, but until then. Oh, rubies for lasers. Okay.
And it also makes you wonder, because back then, it's always said that God is a very loving and forgiving entity, but yet there are stories where he turns people to salt,
Yeah,
wipes out whole cities, flooded the earth.
Yeah, none
Okay.
of what I'm seeing is very loving.
So if you did that back then, things right now is 100 times worse than what it was then. Why aren't we being wiped out?
And we may be, I don't know, but it also does say that hell will be here on earth before, it's actually all said and done. Maybe it is.
It
I
is
don't see it.
now.
I mean, yeah, it's there, but you stay in your own little world, in your own little circle. Not so bad.
And speaking of which, with people doing really stupid things, I just got this on my. I'm a part of a citizens coalition group for my little town here. New Haven man accused of injuring 11-year-old girl after throwing fireworks into downtown Fort Wayne crowd arrested.
What the hell?
He's a 22-year-old man. Doesn't even look like he's 22. Probably should still be in high school.
Catherine, you're exactly right. Kate. Yeah, I'm sorry, honey. That's
Sometimes, Kate, we do talk about some serious things here.
and y'all know me. My opinion is out there. I'm not saying mine is it. It's an opinion. It's like assholes. Everybody's got one. And I have no problem with anybody else's opinion. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to listen to someone else's opinion. If it's better than mine, okay, let's go with it. It's whatever. But yeah, my opinion's pretty loud and proud.
Okay, this guy here that threw the firework in the crowd did that on the 4th of July. And,
Okay.
and took them this long.
Was it in a crowd, like
It
a
was
big
in the
crowd?
crowd.
Okay. I just watched a thing last night. It was on, people getting arrested and different things, but this family decided they were just going to go out on 4th of July and have fun. Their idea of fun was taking Roman candles, and they found a family that was sitting outside and just started shooting it at him. So the old man, he was like in his maybe late 60s, early 70s, walked out there to try to push the Roman candle away from the family, and he got the snot beat out of him. They broke his ribs. Then the son stepped in, who was the father of the kids, and they beat him. He had a cut above his eye. They shattered his jawbone. They shattered bones in his face. I mean, they really did a number on these guys. And what makes me so mad watching these shows is, like, there was one murder show. He got away with it for 50 years. And the son finally came forward with some evidence. They locked him away. Of course, he died before he could even face justice because he was old. But
Actually, that something like that just happened. I read a story about a week ago about a girl that was murdered in Hawaii back in 1970 something.
Mhm.
And 51 years later, they finally got the guy last year, and they got the guy in 2022, and he died a year later, waiting on trial.
That might have been the same thing.
Yeah,
But
it was in Hawaii.
these people are getting, like, some of them, murdered somebody or just destroyed somebody's life. They're getting parole. I watched one show where they're yelling at the judge, cussing him. Okay, when I was a paralegal, you do that, you're in contempt of court and you're gone. You're done. There's no bail. There's no, you're going to wait till your trial. No. They sat there and just muted them, and no. There's no repercussions for the way people act. So why would they be scared to do whatever they're going to do?
Speaking of murders, I actually watched the video of the guy that got killed yesterday. That health CEO guy.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw the video. I didn't realize it was going to be the video of the actual shooting, because the ones that they have been putting on the news was right to the point where he points the gun, and then they cut it off.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This video that I saw went through the shooting to the point where the guy kind of walks up by him, and then he ducks in between two vehicles, and then that thing goes off. The video goes off.
It's awful.
Yeah, I have been looking at a lot of things, and there are so many people that are actually applauding this guy.
And that is our issue. We have people in the utmost, I'm not going to say they're respected, in the utmost power, that are condoning shit like this. And it's going to continue, and it's going to get worse.
Yeah, the things that they're saying is that it's because of this guy, so many people have gotten denied or uh, delayed it. No, it's not. This guy just got the job 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The practices that are in place of his company has been put in 50 years ago.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do with it.
And nobody thinks past the end of their nose anymore.
No.
They don't do research. I see that on Facebook all the time. People jump on a damn bandwagon and bash somebody before they have done their research. Now, I am all for bashing one person. I can tell you that right now. I've never met her, but I'm all for bashing her because I've seen the evidence.
Right.
But I've also done my research on it before I put it out there. As a matter of fact, I put something out there today about it because now she's going to the news. But Yeah. People don't do research anymore. People don't do research before they vote. People don't do research before they speak. It's
Well,
it's a mean thing.
research involves too much work.
Yeah, yeah.
Research involves actually doing something for yourself.
Hmm.
Um,
You know,
and
but you think you do it so that you just don't look like an idiot when you speak? I mean,
and
God.
Jill's absolutely right. It's because of the DNA stuff, and that was what caught that guy um, in Hawaii. They caught the guy through DNA evidence because the police they couldn't find him, so they went to his son and asked him for a DNA sample, and he gave it to them,
Yeah.
and they confirmed this is a match, and they went out and they found him.
That is the same one. Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I read about that last week, and I thought, wow. And then he was only in jail for a year before he died.
Yep. Yep. And the daughter, uh, maybe it was his sister. I don't know. Anyway, they came forward and were like, "Yeah, I feel like I didn't get justice because,"
That's it. That's the one.
and then others were like, "You know what? At least he's gone."
Yeah, and to think the guy did get away with murder for 50 years.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
The DNA thing, Jill. It's. I wonder how much they perfected it. Now they have for matching, family members and all the police work. That's perfected. I just really wonder how perfected it is for when we put in our genealogy and they come back with, okay, you're from this part of the world, you're from this part of the world, your ancestors come from here. I don't know, but I'm going to do a little experiment because I don't know where I came from. I'm adopted. So I did it in Ancestry, Ancestry DNA. And I'm 90% Viking, over 90%, which,
Is that a surprise, ladies and gentlemen?
but I want to put it in the other one, see what they say. Where are they going to map me there? I'd like to see how true it is.
I thought about maybe doing that, but just haven't. I'm still kind of leery of it.
My ex-husband says, I will never do that. I said, why? He said, because, first of all, he knew his dad wasn't his real dad, but he didn't want to admit that. But second of all, he's like, if they ever get, if I accidentally throw a cigarette somewhere and they think it's mine and they have my DNA, matched to a killer, I'm like, he said, or if I actually murder somebody, I don't want him having my DNA. Holy shit. No wonder I'm not there. Wow.
Speaking of which, I really wonder if they are ever going to catch that guy that murdered the guy yesterday. Um,
I hope so.
it seemed like he took such great care in being careful, but there were other ways where he wasn't careful.
Yeah.
Number one, he wasn't wearing glasses, so but he covered enough of his face, I think, to avoid that facial recognition software.
Maybe. Unless his eyes are very rare looking. I mean, I don't know.
From what I have been able to see, I have not been able to see anything that had a good look of his eyes.
And see, I haven't
Good look
really
at the bridge of his nose, but that's about it.
paid much attention, really. I haven't had a chance. It's been back to back calls, but oh, really? There was two in here. One of them's gone.
Uh-oh. Zach's in trouble.
What else? What else? Mm-mm-mm.
In other news around the world, last I heard, the government of France has collapsed.
What?
Yeah, something about a vote of non-confidence. Um,
Oh, Jill, that's yeah, yeah. That's why when I was adopted, they moved me way away because I'm from a small town of like 900 people, and it was almost guaranteed that I would date one of my brothers or something, and I would have. I they're good looking boys, so yeah, I get it.
okay, Kate said she'll be on about 5-10 minutes.
You sure you can handle this topic, Kate? You gonna be okay?
Oh no, she's got questions for us Americans.
You know what? I like that. I got questions for her.
Yeah, because apparently she didn't know this existed.
Oh, mine's in my office.
So this was written yesterday on BBC News. The French government has collapsed after Prime Minister Michel Barnier was ousted in a vote of no confidence. MPs, whoever they are, MPs voted overwhelmingly in support of the motion against him just 3 months after he was appointed by the French president.
Okay.
And then there was something that I read about it shutting them down. I don't know.
Well, it was on. Was it
Collapses every year.
Gorbachev?
Okay, I didn't know about that. Oh, and yeah, no, I thought that was South Korea that wanted martial law.
Oh, I don't know. North Korea idiot wanted martial law. Okay. Joanne, I, if it was me, I probably wouldn't, simply because I assume people. I I like to see the best in people, and I don't assume that somebody's always out to get me. So I don't think I would have, because I would think that they knew that I was there to renegotiate what had happened. But apparently that wasn't the case. Martial law is coming here.
I'm gonna be surprised. I was actually kind of surprised that what the hell did I say? I'm gonna be honest.
You were thinking ahead of what your mouth was saying.
It happens a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I am surprised that martial law was never declared when COVID hit.
It was starting, because that's why all the police got black and white tags,
Yeah.
and they're all black and white, and some of them went to that where you have to look at it just right to see the decal. You're not going to see it straight on. All kinds of things. They were ready. They were getting ready.
Okay. South Korean president had ordered martial law. South Korea. His cabinet reversed it within hours. So something is going on over there.
Well, South Korea. Okay. Let me think. No,
North Korea is the one that we have to worry about.
North Korea is that little fat fuck, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that has not a brain in his head, and crazy as a loon.
He only got the position because of his father.
Oh yeah, but like I think it's Russia. I'll have to double check with Zach, but I think it's Russia that prime minister came out and said, "Yeah, they have voting, but you're not going to vote me out when I'm the one that counts those votes, and I'll override it."
Well,
They're
Putin's
screwed.
got some kind of a stranglehold
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
because he was the Russian president, and then he did not run for the next term, and another guy did. Um, then that guy said, "I am not going to run," in favor of Putin again.
Yeah.
Something tells me there was a coup de grace
Oh yeah.
happening there.
Oh yeah, and they actually all voted against him. He said this country's voted against me for a long time, but I have the last say. So how is that even? Yeah, I don't.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I.
anyway, these are happening over there across the ocean.
Oh
It's not
yeah.
looking pretty, and it leads me to wonder if any of this has anything to do with our own election.
It sure because even Putin came out and said he hates that guy and he's not working with him, but yet when he was in office, he had him in his pocket. So what's going on there? I don't know, and we may never.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
We may never know, but I'll tell you the leader I have had the most respect for is the president of UK, the Ukraine. Um, he got out there and fought with his people.
It's prime minister there. He's not a president.
He's a president to me because that fucker went out there and fought. He fought with his people. He did not sit
Oh,
back.
no, no. Oh, Ukraine. Okay, I thought you
Ukraine.
said UK.
I did, and then corrected myself to
Okay,
Ukraine.
no, Ukraine. Yes, that he is president. Yes,
But he went out there. Ours would have sat back in the little white room. I don't care who it is, with the people.
Zelensky.
But he went out there and he has, as far as I know, he's still living and
Yes.
still with his people.
Yeah, he took office in May of 2019. He's only 46 years old.
Still has fire.
He's an independent, so he's not tied to any official political parties, which is rare for somebody to get that high as an independent.
Yeah.
But his name is shit, Volodymyr Zelensky.
Yep. Zelensky.
Yeah. I know the name Zelensky because that was a character name in one of the Stargate shows that I used to watch. So I'm good with that one. It's just the first name, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that middle name. It's written on here. I'm not going to try it.
Kate, I'm sorry. I just saw that. Jan was just kind of filling in, and she has been crazy busy. She actually had a water break, and in New Mexico, just watering your little front lawn, your water bill is $400 a month. So she had to hurry and find that water break. It took a while. They ended up putting a faucet on something that is underground. Made no sense. But she got it fixed. She had to take away all the garbage and all that. But I will say, after her surgery, and she's been getting physical therapy, different things, she's doing amazing. She's able to work without falling down for 4 or 5 days. She's really doing good. Nick, he's really still recovering.
I
Jeremy
told
can
him.
tell you more than I can.
I told him to take the night off. After doing the Fear Fan show on Tuesday night, we talked for a while. After that, he was saying he's still pretty tired, and he's back to work, and he's very tired from that. And I told him, you know what, just take the night off. Take whatever time you need off. Don't worry about this show. We got other people that can handle it.
Yeah.
So, it,
Yeah. You know, I don't think people realize that 2 brain bleeds, one is a death sentence. Having 2 of them and surviving, that's huge. That's really huge. So, and one, I can understand one, your brain reabsorbing it and being okay if it can clot without causing an aneurysm. But having 2 of them and being okay, that's a fight. That's a huge fight.
he wasn't okay there for a while.
And the last time he was on the show, he said he had a migraine.
Yep.
It never stopped. That was a week. So that brain bleed started that night. And then, a week later, he went to the hospital. That's
Let's see. That was Thursday. He went to the hospital, I think, Monday.
yeah, that's
We went Tuesday, and then he got out on Monday.
oh, Mimi's in.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see our Facebook post, Mimi? We're having a little witches convention. You damn straight. Wait till we put that extra bowl over Greeley. Make sure snow never hits here again.
You should all do that Wicked Witch of the East laugh on video.
I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. We're just going to go around a bunch of the stores that are around here. Then the next week, we're going to go further and further.
Yeah.
Hi, Nikki.
Hello. Also, let's go back to paranormal news here. The Conjuring House. So, Little Miss Nunez.
Damn bitch. Crazy bitch.
Apparently, she was invited in for an interview in one of the local news stations, and she's telling them that she had done nothing wrong. That maybe she could have toned down a couple of her messages. Let's see. Oh, Kate's here. Okay, before I bring Kate on, Kate, say something. I want to see if I can hear you.
I hear.
Okay, okay, that was what I wanted to test out.
Hello. How are you guys?
Ow, shit.
Well, she's in an out shit moment right now.
No, I don't know what I've done to my hand, but
Oh no.
this side of it here, if I move my thumb, I can move it all around, but when I go to squeeze other fingers with my thumb, it pops and makes it. I don't know if I broke it and don't know it, or I have such a high pain tolerance.
no.
I can walk on broken limbs, but
Is
I
it a tendon issue maybe?
I think so. That's the only thing I can think of that's there. It's not like carpal tunnel, which would be in the center. It's
Well, that's the one that you scared me with when I was over there this summer.
uh-huh.
Yeah, because my pain was right here.
Yeah.
But that was just a strained ligament from when I was bowling.
Well,
Yeah.
I haven't bowled. I haven't done anything. So I'm thinking that maybe, and I can't immobilize it. I know I need to. I can't do
I tried
that.
to bowl when I was
It made the lane. I can't say it made the pins, but it made the lane. That's an accomplishment.
no comment.
Yeah.
But really quick, I know that Kate's got a lot of questions she wants to ask.
I'm going to be writing some down, so I'm just going to mute myself while I'm writing. And yeah, far away, Jeremy.
Okay. So Little Miss Nunez was saying that she's done nothing wrong, that she probably could have toned down on her emails, this, that, and the other. And then she went on to say on TV yes, her business license is pulled.
Mhm.
It is not being renewed. She
Mhm.
does not have it, and she is still going to conduct business.
Yes, she did. And she has a lawsuit coming
She's going to
because
have
her
more, she's
website's
going to
still
have
up.
more than a lawsuit coming after her.
Oh, yeah, the
She's
town
going to
is
have
done.
a state coming after her now.
The whole town is done. The town is finished with her. And the guy across the street, which is helping, it wasn't in the past, but it is helping at this point, does not want the traffic at that house because he doesn't want it in front of his house.
I don't think he's really going to have any say so in that.
No, a dumbass I was married to at one point actually said something wise. If you don't like what's happening next door, you should have bought that property too, because it's none of your business.
Did that guy have it before the Conjuring House movie came out?
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, because you can't help if a place that you live right next to all of a sudden just becomes popular.
I would love it. I like meeting people. I don't care.
Not me. I want people to stay away. Leave me alone.
Nah. That's no fun.
Uh, Never mentioned it. I didn't watch the entire interview. I just saw a clip of it. I haven't been able to find the entire interview.
Is what I posted the entire interview?
No, well, I don't know if it was your link that I clicked on or someone else. I clicked on somebody's link, and
It's
it led
probably
me to
me or David Childers. We're the one that are ramming this stuff.
is it might have been his that I clicked on, but it was only a couple of minutes.
It was from News Channel something or other, but yeah, I did not get to listen to all of it either because I was at work. But
It was only a couple of minutes, and it wasn't the full thing. It was this section, and then all of a sudden it just um, jumped to another segment of the interview, and it did that a couple times. And then when she said that she was still going to conduct business, that's when the video cut off.
yeah, well, she can conduct her little business all the way to the loony bin because she's either going to jail, she's going to loony bin. Don't matter which. And I will help her get there. I don't care.
I am just worried that I'm now starting to think, is she the one that set the fire in the barn?
No, she did not. Um, actually, the person that's showing all the evidence, it was his partner and show partner as well, and they were in there painting, and he to this day apologizes because it was an absolute accident.
Oh, the rag combust.
The rag combusted,
I
and
remember that now. I remember that now.
he he'll tell you this is what happened, and I am so sorry. And she had insurance for all of it, but she still swears he did it on purpose. Actually, she swears the head guy did it on purpose. So,
Just like she swore that Jason Hawes was the one that was backing out of the truck and he ended up being the guy that was supposed to be there for the night.
yep. And she says lots of things that Jason, he's threatened her life. He's
I know. I've been watching his videos. He's showing everything that she's sending them.
and that's exactly why I'm okay with what I say. Because Jason, he has a name to support. He's not going to be out there just talking shit just to be doing it. He's already got fame. Why would he do that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to only hurt him.
Well, everything that I have seen in his videos is not that he's bitter or talking trash about somebody.
Mm-mm.
He is laying out the facts.
He is. He wants people to try to be safe.
Yeah.
The only thing One of our people, two of our girls were supposed to go just as this was happening. Did they ever go?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to ask Nick because he was talking to him and I told him, give him my address, give him my name, give him my number, which they know my name, but give him my number. If anything happens, I've got people that are close. You can stay there because she's known to just ambush and tell people to get out because they're filming.
Mhm.
And I wanted to make sure they're that far away from home. They're from across the pond. I mean, they're far from home.
Anna Renata was just there a couple months ago.
That's who I was talking about.
Yeah.
Did they make it? Were they okay?
I haven't heard anything bad about it.
Good. I hope they had a good experience and they can just stay out of the bullshit. No, Mimi, it's not like that. Somebody else is going to buy it. And it's going to be one of the paranormal is going to buy it.
I know there was a story going around about that comedian who wanted to buy it.
Yeah. He got laughed out of there.
Yeah, he did. So, okay, I'm seeing this new feature here.
Oh boy.
I'm going to try it on Kate.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm only going to try it on her because she's muted.
What was that?
So,
Yeah.
yourself back on mute. There's a button
Okay.
up here that says push to talk. Now, I want to see what it does. Anything happen?
She's muted. No.
Okay, push to talk.
Maybe that's push for you to talk. I don't know.
Yeah, it says moderator Jeremy is speaking when you press that.
And when
So
I
maybe nobody can talk over you when you do that.
Just press it, Jeremy, and I'll try and talk over you. Go.
just start talking, Adrian. Just talk nonsense, and then I'll do that with her, and I'm going to see if that puts her over you.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh my God.
So fun is the ride in the one horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, Jeremy's
It doesn't
not
work like that,
talking.
Jeremy.
Well, it didn't work. But it did let you. It did allow us to hear you while you were muted.
I unmuted myself though.
Yeah, I told you to mute yourself. So
I'll mute myself. Wait, I'll mute myself.
okay.
We're playing with the stream. Tom, how you doing? Pickle Tom.
Okay, it did not work then. Okay, you can unmute yourself now.
Yeah. I don't know what that does. It just says that you're talking.
Google it. Who knows?
Well,
Hi, Tom.
I am still happy with this program. So
Yeah.
the thing comes up in 9 days. I'm going to go ahead and get the year subscription to this. I'm happy with this.
Yeah. And much better than what we've dealt with.
Oh, no kidding. That one was a nightmare.
Hi, Rose.
Okay, so what kind of questions you got for us, Kate?
Oh, I have loads. Where do you want to start?
Start with number one.
Yeah, question number one that I have for you is how could you not know these exist?
I mean, yeah, we don't what is the point apart from just scratching the back?
If you've ever used one, you'll never do without one.
I don't know if it's a country thing, if it's an age thing, if it's a generational thing. I don't know.
They sell them at the dollar store.
At the dollar store, okay.
Local thing.
Yep, they're still there every single day. Now, my husband, the one I have, because tempt me and I'll push the limits. It says, Dads, walk away without it. Well, guess who's got it? It ain't Dad. We've had it since the kids were little. They sell them now that are more plastic.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really seen that many varieties and assortments and even the actual thing existing in the UK. But I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's loads of novelty stores and random shops that have back scratchers, but I don't think I've ever actually seen anyone use it. I think Jeremy was the first person I've seen use a back scratcher.
Yeah, he has.
And I had no idea what he was doing.
No.
He has no problem using it on camera. Yes, we know.
And
But
I'm like,
guess what Kate's getting for Christmas?
oh no, I don't. That's so kind, but I think I'm okay. I don't think I'd use it.
Give me
You
a
will
hundred.
never stop using it once you got it.
Text him. Hey, this is what you need to get for your wife this year.
Oh man, you know what? I don't know. It's quite unique. The back scratching.
Known of anyone to not have one, let alone not know one about
But
it.
why does your back get itchy? I don't understand. Is it because like you're sweating or
how often your back actually itches once you get one of these things?
But you're so used to doing this and you don't realize it. But when you get older and your hands don't touch anymore,
right,
you use them. Or you go up against a wall like my husband looked like a bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do that in my door frames a lot.
That's what he does too. There's a little place there where he's just.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay, I'll think about it.
Not to get too bad, but Tom had already done that the other night. But these are good for other places too.
They also have here what they call them head massagers. And
yeah, I've seen those with the
dumbest thing ever.
This thing, right?
Yeah, where it has this little tines things, and you go like this. Dumbest thing ever. They tangle in your hair, and they're ridiculous.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
If you can still put your hands up here and do that, you're fine.
Also, for a massager on the other side of this, you got this thing.
Okay.
Okay. No, I do not.
So the whole point of this conversation.
These are the things that you like. If you got like a knot in your arm, it can kind of do like that.
I have to say the whole point of this conversation is that I've never seen such an array of random crap that is in the USA. Like, honestly, I've never seen so many things that I never even thought of.
Welcome to America.
I think, do I really need this in my life? So many.
No, the answer is no. If people did not have them 200 years ago and still survived, the answer is no. Do they make your life easier, more fun? Yes.
Yeah. Like, I was just in the shop the other day and they have all of those knitted wine bottle covers. And I'm like, when would I actually need that? Like, I understand a gift because it's quite quirky, it's quite funny. But I'm like, $5 for this knitted tiny jumper to go on my wine bottle. Why? I just don't.
Stick around after the show. I want to talk to you.
It's like this.
That's a horrible idea. What time?
This goes. The can goes in it to keep it cool. Does it really?
No.
No, it does not.
Oh no. Yeah. And yesterday, I was shocked that yesterday. This is completely groundbreaking. They now have wet wipe warmer. So when you go to change your children's nappies or diapers, as you say here, and you're using wet wipes, they now have a wet wipe warmer. So the wipes are warm.
I will take that.
What?
I will take that because my kids would scream.
Yeah.
When I put it on.
I get that. Like that's clever. It's a clever invention, but I never knew that I needed it until I saw it. And it's crazy.
I'll tell you, back when I first started my first daughter, even when they did the ultrasound on you, it was cold. There was no
Yeah.
warmth to it. It was cold. You knew it was going to be cold. You were fine with it. You move on.
Yeah.
Now they're heated. Now I'm going to tell you, I had
Really?
oh yeah, very heated. They have a little
Okay.
warmer in the cart that they bring for the ultrasound.
I need to talk about that, right? So I had no idea that when you go for a checkup, especially a gynecologist,
Mhm.
you don't have to take anything off. They're just like, just take your pants off or whatever. And I'm like, okay. Coming from Germany, you had to get totally nude, the whole lot. You didn't have a sheet, you didn't have anything. You just had to sit there in your
Oh, no.
birthday suit.
No.
And that was so weird for me coming here, where it's just like, it's okay. Like, you can keep everything on and you can have a sheet, and I'm not going to look, don't worry, I'm not going to look at anything. And I'm like, I really don't care. Like, it doesn't
You're a
bother me.
doctor. I'm here for
Yeah.
you to
I'm like,
look to make sure I'm okay.
like, this isn't some kind of weird movie or anything, you know, like, this is professional, this is fine. So yeah, that was really shocking when I came here, was like the whole, I don't know if it's modesty or not, but it's just everyone freaking out about body parts. And yeah.
It's
I feel
not.
people are more modest about their bodies, I think.
No. I'll tell you where that came from. I'll tell you where that came from. We had doctors that were doing things they shouldn't do. And
Right.
that is now why we have, if somebody is performing any kind of gynecological act on you, or checking your breasts, anything, there has to be 2 in the room.
Okay.
It always 2. That didn't used to be that way when I was, in my 20s. But now it is that way because something has happened. And there
Okay.
needs to be 2 people in there as witnesses.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of that over here. A lot of procedures and things that could happen and have happened, and preventative, and
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of that. You know, you didn't really get a choice in Germany. It was just like, sit down and shut up. We're just gonna check you.
Right. And really it is here too, except
Yeah.
there's 2 people there that usually it's like a nurse's aide or something. And they stand off to the side, just making sure that doctor is not doing anything he's not supposed to do.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And, but the warming thing, I had a mammogram done just a few weeks ago. And the last one I had done was, all right, let's be honest, I was maybe size B cup at the time because I was so tiny. So that didn't hurt.
No.
Now, you gain some weight and you gain those boobs. No, that hurts. But everything is warm. Everything. The thing
Wow.
that they smash it down on is warm.
I didn't know that.
They presented me with a warm gown to put on.
Wow.
As they put it in your changing room. Here's a gown. And it was warm. I'm like, what? Of course, it stays warm for about 10 seconds. But
So interesting.
it was warm. So, they try to do.
They really think of everything over here.
Yeah.
Like every single thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
but some of it is just because some of us idiots will buy anything.
That's
what it amounts
to. That is true. That is
true. We buy anything. If it's fun, if it looks fun, we're going to buy it. They sell. You are still not in the U.S., right?
Yeah, I'm just outside Chicago.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Have you noticed that in Walmart, they now sell sexual toys?
No, I have to say, I went to Walmart once and I was terrified, so I never went back again.
Yeah,
I blame you there.
Yeah, there was people arguing. There was 2 men that were about to have a fight.
What?
And it was just very uncomfortable. I was like, I don't think I want to come back.
Oh, wow.
Anytime soon. Yeah.
Wow.
Especially in the parking lot. Yeah, everyone's a bit tense and a bit stressy in the parking lot.
See, none of that happens in this part, but I didn't know. I guess it had went on for 5 years before I knew they sold those things in Walmart.
Wow. But they sell everything, don't they?
They
Everything.
call them massagers.
Wow.
What?
I go buy them all the time. Every time I go into that section of Walmart, I've never seen them, so they probably don't have them at my Walmart.
Oh, yes, they do. I promise you they do. In HBA, when you go back to the makeup and the lubrication and all that, they are right there. They are right next to it that says massagers.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they did just change the entire layout of the store last fall, I think. So maybe they brought in some new stuff when they were doing that, because they changed a lot of crap.
But they have a lot of. Do they have pharmacy, optician?
Yes.
Well,
pharmacy would do the optometrist. Yeah, that comes and goes. Sometimes we have somebody rent out one of the sections there at the front of the store.
Right.
One day they'll just be gone and somebody else is coming in.
We have it. We also have a beautician there.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So I think Walmart, I'm not sure if they bought Asda in the UK, but we have quite a similar store in the UK called Asda, and I'm sure it's part of the same company, maybe. I have to look into it, but I'm sure there's a cooperation between those two. So yeah, but it's nowhere near as big as, like, we do have Asda superstores that are really big, but I mean, the stores here are just, they're like airports, you know? And I always feel like they're time sucking, because when I go in and I'm like, I'm just going to pick up a few things, and I come out and it's dark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how long have I been in there? And I've been in there for like 2 hours and it felt like 10 minutes. So yeah, there's also that whole concept.
When I was in college, they actually did a study on people inside the store. They did a study on the aesthetics, on where you place things, where people will stay longer, the music they play, things like that, where people will stay longer. And I'm sure they've upgraded on that since. But yeah, you get lost. In ours here, they even have a veterinary clinic.
Oh, wow. Just everything. There's everything. And yeah, like Ed said, America's Matrix. It really is. It
is
crazy. It's so big. Yeah, a lot going on. I wanted to ask you guys.
Wait till you go into a Sam's Club or a Costco, then you'll really freak out.
I've been to Costco, and honestly,
I don't even like Sam's Club. There's no point for me.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Costco. I feel like it's still expensive.
Well, the reason it's expensive is because everything is bigger. You're buying things more in bulk.
Yeah, but then am I going to eat 5 kilos of peanuts? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like, eventually.
I can't plan that long term for food, like 2 years. Like, am I going to be eating peanuts for 2 years now that I've bought 5 kilos of them? Or I don't know.
If you buy that much at one time, I guarantee you're not going to eat it in 2 years. You'll probably done in probably 5 or 6 months.
Yeah, but I think you guys have a different way of purchasing, because in Europe we have such smaller shops and we don't tend to bulk buy. Like, that's just not in our shopping habits. So I think you guys are much more attuned to bulk buying and saying, right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to freeze it and I'm going to make this and I'm going to caution it and all this kind of stuff. And I have maybe you guys have your doomsday bunkers in the basement where you're going to
Some
stock
do.
up. And
As many times as we've had a doomsday here, we should all have
We should.
yeah,
My son is coming from Japan in
wow.
at Christmas again, but he's bringing his girlfriend. I'm a little worried because she is from that area. She's not necessarily from Japan, but she's from that area.
Yeah. And
She's
they live
traveled
day
there.
to day. They buy day to day food and shopping and
I can't do that. That's why I did the bulk shopping.
Uh-huh.
I could not go shopping for the next 2 months.
Oh, 2 months? What?
Well, okay, so I have
wow.
a side by side refrigerator freezer, and then I have 2 chest freezers in my pantry.
Oh, that's right. You live alone. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So I would just stock up and not have to worry about going to the store for a couple of months.
That's impressive. You must have a
It
very
worked
big
out
house.
really well.
Yeah.
We have 2 freezers, 2 actual freezers, just stand-up freezers, 2 refrigerators with freezers on them,
Hmm.
and
Wow.
we still go every 2 weeks, regardless.
See, I'm fascinated
And they go every day.
with the size of your houses as well, because you guys have a lot of land, like ridiculous amount of land, and housing is very, very different over here. And the plot, like you don't only get a big house, you get a whole garden or yard. That's quite
Yes,
rare.
If you choose to. I mean, some
Yeah.
people live the apartment life
Yeah.
and are fine with that. Before I moved here, I had 2 acres. I had
Wow.
horses on them. I had cows on them. Cows, 1 cow. I used to milk the cow and make butter and make cheese. And I was trying my hand. It's not something I had to do, but I
Yeah.
wanted to know how to do it in case I ever have to do it.
Yeah.
There was another place I lived in Kentucky that we had 2 acres, but the adjoining land was like 20 acres.
Mm.
And, it depends on really where you live.
Yeah.
And we're
Sure.
in town, and it's a very small yard.
Mm.
For me,
Yeah, I get that. Like with between cities and
Mhm.
urban, rural, all of that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah, like generally, I was really shocked at how much land you have over here. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot. It's
Well,
so
here
big.
goes Amish.
He lives
Oh,
in
honey.
is probably twice the size of my house, I think.
What's that, Jeremy?
Her house is
Oh,
probably twice the size as mine.
right.
I've got a decent sized house. It's
Mhm.
2,300 square foot, something like that.
Mm,
And hers is quite a bit bigger, and that's not including the basement.
mm,
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms upstairs,
mm.
1 in the middle floor, and then you could do whatever you wanted with the basement. We've got an office, a storage room, a
Well,
living
that
room,
office basically
kitchen.
could be a bedroom.
Oh yeah, it was before I moved here. It was. Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very big houses.
yeah.
I've got 2 bedrooms upstairs, a full bath, and technically I have 2 bedrooms down here and a half bath, but this here is one of those rooms, and I use that for my office. I think
Mm,
this room was really a master bedroom for
mm.
the previous occupants, but I just use this as my office because I can go to the kitchen down that way, or I can go to the front room that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I just find it incredible because we are so overcrowded in Europe. It's a tiny continent, really, and there's just not the space. And I'm like, why aren't there more people coming over, to live in these huge plots of, just where is everyone? Like, why isn't everyone
I like
flocking
the space
here?
that I got. I just don't like having to mow all of that.
Mm.
It takes her less than 5 minutes to mow hers.
Yep. Well, it takes me
Yeah.
less than 10 seconds, Dad. The yard needs mowed. That's how long that takes. But in America, we're programmed to
Mm.
the bigger the house you have, the more
Right.
you have, the more status you have. It's not true. What that is the more debt you have. That means
Mm.
you owe your whole life to everything you own.
Mm.
It's not. In reality, I mean, yes, it looks good from the outside, but in reality, all it means is you have no money to spend because you're paying for all this.
Yeah.
That's all it
Yeah.
means. We wouldn't have this. As a matter of fact, when I moved here, we moved into a little trailer. It was a
Mm.
2-bedroom trailer, a 3-bedroom. His office, my office, and our bedroom. But the amount of house cost to rent here.
Mm.
Colorado is like I don't know, people come here to retire, I guess.
Mm.
Who in retirement, unless you were, rich in life, has $1,600 to rent a place?
Mm.
Rent most places cost more than a house mortgage.
It does. Our house mortgage is $1,000 per month. We were
Wow, that's
renting
good.
for $1,500.
Yeah.
So that's, there's a huge difference there. And this big house would never have been ours.
Mm.
We came here to take care of his parents until they're gone, and then the house is ours.
Mm.
And it's been in the family for 56 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Mom
So
and
it's
Dad,
inherited.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and it was given to her when they passed.
Mm.
It's going to be given to us when she passes. But originally, this house, behind it was a cornfield, and it was farmland. The guy who built this house, he decided, a kid got run over out front
Mm.
by a horse and buggy because they had nowhere to play. It was a road, and then the cornfield. They had nowhere to play. So he bought the lot behind us and put in a playground
Oh,
for the kids
wow.
to play.
And it's still there.
It's still there. It belongs to the city now, but it is still there.
Mm.
There's times I wish it was not, because now, I mean, we went to go investigate that area just for fun, a bunch of us. And what we saw was teenage kids having sex in the slide.
Oh, no. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's not what he built this house for
No.
or
That's
this
a
area
shame.
for.
Well, she caught one kid over there with a gun.
I did. He was selling a gun and to another kid, much younger. I ended up videoing the whole thing, calling the police, and they ended up getting him. But you know, it's
Yeah.
it's the culture. It's the kids think they have to survive by being bad.
Mm.
But this house is amazing just because we still have the markings of the first people that built it in the 20s.
Oh,
And
wow.
when they raise their kids, you know how you put the markings of their head and the year and their name?
Yeah.
Our closet has that in it. And one day, about 20 years ago, kid knocked at the door, and we thought one of them had died because his name was no longer there. It was only there once, and then it was
Mm.
gone. And he introduced himself to mom and dad, and he said, "I'm so and so," and said, "We thought you had passed away." He said, "No, mom made me do this when I was having my gallbladder taken out.
Oh,
Had it taken out in my office. That was his bedroom at the time. They came here, took it out, and left."
wow.
And so the history of this house is the reason I will never get rid of it.
Yeah, that's really amazing that you have so much history there, definitely.
And plus, she doesn't want to give up her red hallway.
I would give that up.
She has a very red hallway.
Oh,
Yeah.
like in the hotel scene in The Shining.
Oh yeah, the carpet's red, the wallpaper's red, and it's that velvet fuzzy wallpaper.
Wow.
It's been here since Mom was a teenager, and
Wow.
when they would turn the light on, the neighbors would laugh because there was 5 sisters that lived upstairs, and the
Mm.
neighbors would laugh and say, "There's the hooker house."
Oh no.
And there's actually in the walkway, there's a little walkway. You can go up the stairs, or you can come in the living room, and in that little walkway, there's sliding doors that come from the walls. And
Mm.
Mhm.
they say that that used to be like a brothel.
Oh my
Mom says it
goodness.
never was. Mom
No.
said that was like a library type thing where the husband could go
Yeah.
be alone.
I really like the layout, the floor plan of their house. I really like it.
Oh, interesting. I have a few questions about because you were talking about Americans and consumerism and
Here we
all
go.
that side. How do you guys perceive yourself though as being this Western power and Americans like
How do we perceive ourselves?
yeah as the whole country like nowadays?
I
I
think
think
we're a
it
joke.
depends on the person that you ask.
I think we're a joke. At this point, we're a joke. We're a
Hmm.
joke to the country.
Yeah.
But we're very wasteful people. We
Hmm.
have more than we should and don't give to the ones that need it.
When you say the ones that need it, do you mean in the country or outside of the country?
Even inside the country. We need to
Hmm.
start here.
We have a lot of homeless people, um, a lot of veterans that are in need of a lot of help,
Hmm.
medical especially. And even though we have a VA system, which is Veteran Affairs Hospital,
Hmm.
that's a joke.
Hmm. It is.
Uh,
Right.
because my dad has it. I think Jerry has it too,
He does.
and it's you are technically not allowed to do anything without their okay. Because if they don't okay it, then you're going to be stuck with the bill.
Hmm.
He
For
had to choose. Do you want your insurance or do you want the VA? And he chose his insurance because the VA will not even, he has rotten teeth and can't even eat most of the time. And the VA will not even do his dental work.
yeah, same.
Hmm. I see.
Now,
So,
Dad did just get a new pair of glasses this week, so
hmm.
they will take care of your vision. Um, and then there
So,
are other things where Dad will be, yeah, I think I need this or I need that. Is it? No, you don't.
hmm.
Yeah, he does. And I have asked him about me coming with him to one of his appointments because he doesn't argue very well, and I get
Hmm.
the best of him. And you have to be damn good to beat me at an argument. I think
Yeah.
Adrian kind of knows this. Um, and I wanted to go with him to one of his appointments to try. Hey, why do you not want him to do this? And he's it never going to work. And he actually got mad
Hmm.
the whole thing. Yeah, so, all right, I won't go.
Hmm.
It's
So,
just a sad thing, really.
so would you say it's quite hostile in the way that if you have a job and if you're stable, then things can be really good. But if you're elderly, if you don't have a job, if you don't have insurance, then it's every man for himself.
Oh yeah.
Even at my age, it's like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I found that out the hard way going through the workman's comp insurance.
Yeah, I remember you saying about that.
I had
Yeah.
to fight and fight and fight, and finally, you know what? I'm doing this. And they paid it. I literally gave them no other option.
You see, how we perceive it more in Europe, I would say there are those that would say it is the land of opportunity and freedom, because you can basically do anything that you want to do in the States. If you want to be a boy tomorrow, you can. If you want to study, if you have money, obviously, and you want to study, or even scholarships or whatever, you can be whatever you want to be. You
That's
can get any job.
that's the thing right there. It seems like you got to be able to have money for anything now.
But you can get jobs easily as well. There seems to be a lot of jobs readily available. Not everybody wants to do them,
Right.
but there are jobs that you can pick up quickly.
Our Wendy's and big our Wendy's has closed about a month or so ago. Our Big Lots is in the process of closing because they can't keep anybody.
Ours did too. But here's the thing. People complain on this side of it. I don't know about over there. Probably not as much. But people complain that the immigrants come over, especially Hispanics, and take our jobs. Of course they do. They're willing to work.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the same story across the pond as well. Yeah.
There's also the story of taking the jobs outside the country because they can pay them pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting just to see how you guys perceive that. The other question was about identity, because I have noticed that lots of people are very patriotic, right? They're proud to be American, American flags everywhere. I totally understand it. But then when I ask them about themselves, they will say, oh, yeah, well, I'm Italian or I'm German. And I'm like, oh, so like you speak Italian or you speak German? No, my great grandfather was Italian or my great grandmother was German. And I'm like, okay, so you're American then. And they're like, yeah, American German or American Italian. And I'm like, that's really confusing, because if you say that in Europe and you say like I'm Italian, then you're expected to be fully Italian. Like, or like either I'm British or Italian or German. Like there's no mixing. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah.
The reason that happens here,
Is it an identity thing? I don't get it.
what I think is, we're a melting pot. We came over here and took the land from the Indians. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This belonged to the Indians.
Yeah.
And we took it. So when we took it, wherever we came from became null and void. We're now Americans.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're not, because that's not where we came from. Well, here recently with the DNA and stuff, we're able to see where we actually came from. So then we start identifying with where we came from and saying, we're like, I'm Viking. So, I'm Viking American.
Yeah.
Which means I'm here. I'm still here.
So there's this constant sort of conscious battle when people say I'm American. They are aware that they are not Native American. So they have to sort of, to feel better about it, they have to say where they came from American.
I think for some people, they just don't think about it.
Right.
I don't think they care.
That's the problem with this country a lot, is you just don't think about it. Yeah, I'm Italian. Okay, well, no, really, I'm American who has Italian heritage, but
Yeah.
There we go.
think about that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's that they feel bad about it. I think it's just now where we've started realizing the damage we have done in
Right.
this country,
I see.
but it's too late. There's nothing we can do to fix it.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, the government gives Indian commodities and different things because I was married to an American Indian. My son is half,
Hmm.
and they get free different things. But, you know, we're trying to help a tribe right now called the Rosebud Tribe. They are the most impoverished tribe there is. There's five
Hmm.
tribes around a kind of a, it's not really a mountain, but it's more like little hills. And most of them do not have a vehicle. There's a bus that will
Hmm.
take them to the one store that exists between them.
Okay.
That one store, they can buy flour, but it's got bugs in it.
Hmm.
They don't have electricity.
That's
Right.
terrible.
So what we're doing is getting some food, non-perishable food, flour, cornmeal, things they can use, canned goods, and a bunch of clothes, and taking it to them. They're
Hmm.
scared to leave the tribe because that's all they know.
Yeah.
And they're afraid all they know is the stories that's been passed down to them.
Hmm.
What happened? They perceive us as still those people. And in a way,
Hmm.
we probably are. Because if you go out here, you see the nastiness,
Hostility, maybe.
there is, and just being biased against anybody that is not you.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are just that way, and I understand their fear of,
Hmm.
they're not very educated. Not their fault.
Hmm.
And they're going to come out here and do what? But there is opportunities for them. And when we go up there, we plan on taking a U-Haul with all this stuff.
Hmm.
And I just
You
want
all going to be enough?
it is for right now. We may have to make several trips because if people donate enough, we will make more than one trip. It's going to be 6 to 7 hour drive. It can't be in the wintertime because it is, in the snow. But,
Hmm.
I would like to just sit with them and know their culture.
Yeah.
They've
Totally.
invited me to what they call it, what the Spanish call Day of the Dead, what
Yeah.
we call an investigation. But they have a day where they black out the whole house, and all of them sit against the wall and call their ancestors.
Wow.
And they talk about how they hear banging on the walls
I'll be right.
and, things that they know their ancestors are there.
Hmm.
But, we have so many different cultures, so many different, we don't even know who we are anymore.
No.
It's your own identity, and that's about it.
Yeah. I have noticed there's a lot of pockets, especially religious ones,
Yes.
like with the Amish and a lot of religious cults going on,
Mhm.
even Freemasons. That seems to be quite a big thing over here.
Yes,
Um,
yes, it is. And we have investigated some Masons, lodges.
yeah, yeah,
Um, the lodges are one thing, and then there's of course the big that are on ley lines, but
why
they scare me.
why do you think so? In my experience and opinion, I think America has so many of these pockets, religious groups and cults, everything, and I'm like, why is that?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with that we have immigrants coming in from so many different parts of the world, and they are bringing in
Mhm.
what they believe in, and that's
Mm,
why, like she said, this is literally like a melting, not a melting pot. I would um, categorize the United States now as the catch-all of the world.
Yeah,
mm,
Does that
yeah.
make sense?
But all these different, we are now able to see different cultures and different religions.
Mm.
And we're able to go, I agree more with that.
Yeah. So the freedom to choose, really,
Mhm.
where to be and who to follow.
And
But
people are
Interesting.
more open.
there's still that group of people out there, a lot of places really, that would rather you not have the
Yeah.
freedom to choose.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
They're
And
more
that's
prevalent.
everything, religion,
Yeah.
politics.
Yeah. No, that's interesting, definitely.
It's one of two ways now.
Mm.
They're very open and
Mm.
everybody's very accepting, or it's don't talk about it.
Yeah.
There's only one God. This is the way you're going to do this, or get out.
Mm.
So that's why jobs and all corporations, you don't bring religion into it.
Yeah.
You don't bring your identity into it.
Mm.
You can say how you identify. He,
Mm.
it, whatever it is. But that's all. You leave it
Mm.
alone.
That's interesting. I do have a few questions about jobs and stuff, but I just wanted to talk about consumerism just a little bit. So there were two things that kind of shocked me when I first moved here. The first one is when I went shopping and I was paying for my stuff, somebody packs your bag for you.
Yeah.
So,
Still happens somewhere.
and I was like, what are they doing? I was like, why is she like putting everything in a bag for me? And like, it's so that doesn't happen. No way.
That's common here.
Yeah, it is really.
Unless you go to Aldi's.
Oh yeah, but that's German, isn't it? It's a German company.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a German
Yes,
company.
it is. So,
Well,
so, so
yeah,
maybe that's one
stranger.
of the reasons why it is the way it is. The way I always took it is they scan it in the cart, scan it in the cart, scan
Yeah,
it in the
because
cart.
they have a timer. They have a time how they have to time how much they scan, and that's based on like yeah, it's all like programmed, and they have like a time limit per customer. And I actually I feel more at home when I go to Aldi because you should bring your own bag, which is I totally agree with. I think there's way too much plastic in the world, and these reusable, feeble, thin
Her
plastic
state
bags.
just got rid of plastic.
Who?
Her state just got rid of plastic.
Oh,
We
really?
did.
Finally.
We are right next to California. If California does something, we're going to do it. I don't care what it is.
But we've been doing this in the UK for 15 years.
Well,
And
I
most
think
of Europe
plastic
have been doing
bags had a use. They really did.
it.
Um,
Like, it's so easy just to bring your own bag, your own
if you
reusable.
remember to do it, it is.
But you can keep it in your car. You can just keep.
Oh
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
get the little ones that go in your backpack or
See, for
wherever.
me, it would be really bad for me because when I'm going into Walmart, I have no idea how much I'm going to be walking
Me
out.
too. Me
But
too.
that's why you take like 3 or 4 bags with you, like just the little ones that you can pack up, and they're like this big, and like you open them and.
4 bags ain't going to cut it.
No, no. And the thing is,
Or
when we
box.
had bags,
You
I
just
understand if you want to cut plastic, that's fine. I understand that. But why are we still doing plastic water bottles? Why are we still doing, plastic
Right.
containers on everything? Mayonnaise, ketchup,
Yeah.
Plastic
it's
spoons,
everywhere.
plastic forks.
Yeah, yeah. So what we used to do with the plastic bags, of course, I would reuse them for trash cans, bathroom trash cans, things like that.
That's what we do.
Yeah. And I also used to take and cut them into strips, and I would crochet them into great big rugs, which would keep people warm that were either camping or homeless.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
But no, most people did not do that. They ended up in the landfills. But in all honesty, plastic will biodegrade. Those little plastic bags, if you've ever had one blow up against your fence and it stays there for a few months, you go to pick it up, it's brittle.
Mm,
It will disappear a lot faster than any plastic bottle,
mm.
anything else we use.
Yeah, I was shocked about that. That was on my question list, was the lack of recycling and plastics, that just everything here. Definitely very different in Europe, how everything has to be recycled. Everything. We have 4 or 5 bins, and you religiously have to do it, or you're going to get fined.
So, did you have to pay for those recycling bins?
No, the government gives you
So,
them.
here we do. We have to pay
Right.
for any recycling bin that we
Which
want to
doesn't
put.
make any sense.
It doesn't. It
No.
used to not be
Pay
that
for
way.
our trash cans.
I mean, that's what taxes are for, right?
You would think, but no, that goes to line the pockets of the big
Uh,
people.
a lot of our taxes goes overseas.
Mm,
That too. But it lines the pockets of these big people because state taxes are supposed to go for roads. Do they? Yeah, probably some of it. The rest
mm.
of it, no, it doesn't.
If you drive on Indiana roads, you wouldn't be thinking that.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So that was the first thing that definitely shocked me, was just the whole plastic situation, and people packing my shopping bags for me, and I just stand there like an idiot watching them until I pay for my stuff.
Yeah, it's
That's the
been that
nice part.
way forever. And at one time, we used to have paper bags.
Yep,
Yeah. Yeah, I think Whole Foods still do paper bags.
we
Uh,
do here. We have them you
Mm,
can buy for 10 cents. Yeah.
I
yeah.
can't remember the last time I've seen a paper bag.
Yeah.
My mom used to put them, she'd put a plastic bag to line the trash can, the big trash can, and then put the paper bags in there. How she kept it from breaking, I don't know. But put the paper bags in there. Then you just take the paper bag outside to the bin and then
Mm,
leave that black plastic bag until it was just nasty.
yeah.
I'm good.
Mm. So the other thing that surprised me definitely was the amount of stuff that you have. The variety is insane. I don't know who needs 25 different types of mayonnaise, but there is.
Yeah,
And also the seasonal stuff.
Mhm.
That is crazy. Like the whole logistic side and the expense and just the variety of just billions of Christmas things, and then it's Valentine's, and then it's Easter, and then it's July 4th, and then it's Halloween. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like,
you know why they do that, don't you?
because people
Buy 'em.
need to spend money.
Yeah,
No, yeah, no. So
exactly.
that it can go out and buy all that stuff and
But why
decorate.
do you need it?
You
Why do
don't.
you need it?
No. It's a want.
Bizarre.
It's a matter of
Look
keeping
at
up
the
with
lights
the
right here.
Joneses.
Look at the lights right here. That's just one strand of what I got decorated in my house. I got the whole inside and outside of the house decorated for Christmas.
Oh, we got to work on the outside next weekend. This weekend, we are going to the mountains by ourselves. That's all we're doing. Doing
Oh,
nothing else. But yeah, the amount of stuff, I agree. Look at this. Who needs this?
what is it?
Bunch of little damn balls.
Oh, they golf balls.
Well, one is. The other's just two little balls. Why?
Are they stress balls?
This one is, but it's never been used.
Oh.
It's up here because it's got a smiley face.
Wow.
There's lots of things that we buy that we absolutely do not need.
There are people out there that collect certain things.
Yeah,
Like, for
sure.
example, my mom, when she was alive, she would collect stuff that had smiley faces on. So that pink ball that she just had, she would have had that. And it's because of that I have a smiley face on my arm.
Oh, that's nice.
We collect polar bears.
Oh, that's nice.
Bears, period. Not just polar bears, but he's a motorcyclist and his riding name is Polar Bear.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh,
And And the stuff that I collect, besides movies and books, is I collect bowling pins.
Mm.
Got two entertainment centers that are just topped of bowling pins.
Do you have real ones?
They're all real ones.
Where do you get them? I mean, like, why do you have them? How do you get them?
Some of them I have gotten from bowling alleys that were um, changing all their pins,
Okay.
buying new ones. So I got a whole bunch of them from there.
Okay.
One bowling pin was actually found underneath a lane, and
Mm.
when they were demolishing the one of the centers over here, and I ended up with that pin.
Okay. So you didn't get them as a prize for something or anything like that.
I do have one for a prize. There's a bowling pin right there. That was when I shot my second perfect game.
Oh, nice.
The bowling center I was bowling that night. That's one of the things that they do. If somebody bowls a perfect game, then
Mm.
they give them a pin.
Okay. Okay.
So that's
Nice.
how I ended up with that. And then every year when I go to my national tournament, I always buy two bowling pins, and one's white and one is wood, and they have
Mm.
that year's logo on them.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so much stuff about so much stuff. Um, and I also realized very quickly how not a lot of people walk anywhere. So I will walk to places that are maybe half an hour, 1 hour away. If there's a path, obviously, if there's a sidewalk or whatever, like that's fine.
Nobody has time for that.
No, nobody has time for that here. And
Uh,
yeah,
Usually, when somebody is walking around here, they're walking for exercise.
yeah, yeah. And I've had a few people ask me if I'm okay. And I said, yes, I'm fine. I'm just walking.
Or during my walks, they thought maybe my car might have broken down. I
Yeah,
actually thought about making up a little sign to put on my back. I'm just exercising. My car's fine.
Well,
yeah,
the thing is here, we have a park right behind us.
yeah.
I am not comfortable enough to go out there in that park, and it's a small park. This is not really a huge town, but I'm not comfortable enough to go out there in the early mornings when
But isn't that sad?
it is. It is. Now, if I still have my gun, maybe I would, but
Wow.
I have to stop and think, could I really kill someone? Because that's what it's going to come down to. And then I have to live with that.
You see, I can't get over that. I just can't get over the whole that side of things. Having weapons. That's just
Oh, I
I've
I care.
never,
I
It's
care.
at that point
never.
where you almost have to have a weapon just to be able to survive.
Yeah.
I carry, and I very happily carry. I've never. The only time I've ever drawn my weapon was on a dog, and there was this man walking, and this
Mm.
dog was attacking him, and he couldn't speak English, and so I pulled my car in between him and that dog,
Mm.
and the dog come around, and I had called the police already,
Mm.
and I was on the other side of the car with my looked like a cop with my gun on the hood, and if that dog would have bit him, I would have shot him. And I had neighbors screaming at me, "That's my dog! Then get your damn dog!" They're like, "If you kill my dog, I'll kill you," and it turned into a whole big thing.
Oh my goodness.
But this poor man, we're yelling, and he speaks no English, and he's like,
Mm.
so I spoke what little Spanish I knew to calm him down, letting him know, the authorities are coming. It's okay. I've got you.
Mm.
And when the cop got there, of course, he's looking at me with the gun, and he trying to assess the situation. I've got a
Mm.
gun drawn at a dog and the man there because the dog is on his leg.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to assess, am I trying to kill this guy or, what's going on. So I set the gun down and backed up. So he knew I'm not the threat,
Mm,
and was telling him, this dog is going to hurt him and he doesn't speak English.
mm,
And so, but that's the only time I've ever had to actually draw my gun.
wow. Yeah,
Luckily.
that's frightening though. Very frightening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mace, the police will tell you, do not carry mace. The only
Mm,
one, you're going to hurt yourself, because
mm,
if that wind's blowing the wrong direction, you're going to incapacitate yourself.
right,
And then that person's going to get you.
right.
So just don't do it. But, so what else are you going to do when you have a drug addict that doesn't know where he is, that you're not a threat, and is coming after you? You can shoot them and they're still coming at you.
Mm,
So you do have to defend yourself.
Another thing that you can also have would be a taser.
That, yes, I would just rather choose to put them down immediately, shoot them in the leg where they're not coming after me anymore, and can get to, a phone to call the cops, or get back enough to be able to call the cops. Because I know firsthand, in a stressful situation, I'm a trained CNA, but I witnessed a car accident right behind me. When I got out, the lady was probably deceased, I thought, and couldn't feel a pulse, but I was shaking so bad from seeing this.
mm,
I was trained that even touching her, I was shaking so bad, I don't know if she had a pulse or not.
mm.
And I could not remember how to open my phone, although I'm on it 24 hours a day.
Oh my goodness.
In
Yeah,
that
shock.
moment, you know, so, it's got to be muscle memory of knowing you have to pull that gun. And if you extend your arm with that gun, you better be shooting, because you
Mm,
don't threaten people with a gun. You better be,
mm.
and it better be your life in danger when you do that. So, but if you're going to survive, you have to.
If you Let's put it on the flip side. So, how would you guys cope in a country in Europe or the UK where you are not allowed any type of weapon?
If you're not allowed a type of weapon, probably people are not coming after you in the way they do here.
Right. Okay. So it's a cultural thing here.
It's protection. I
Right.
would be glad to be in a country where I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Right. I see. Hmm.
And a lot of people don't carry, but they depend on the ones that do when they're in a
Hmm.
situation. I will not open carry
Hmm.
where they can see it, because let's say you're in a store, there's a robber in the store, you don't know it, you have a gun on your hip. The robber is going to assess the situation, and
Hmm.
he's going to see you with a gun, your first target, so that you cannot hurt him.
Hmm. Why are people more dangerous? So there's kind of this perception then to protect yourself here. Why are people more dangerous here?
Jail time doesn't mean anything. They
Hmm.
get a TV, they get meals, and most of the time they don't get much jail time. You get more jail time for drugs than you do murder.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's, they're not afraid.
So we have similar issues in the UK, but it's stabbing. Stabbing is getting way out of control in most countries in Europe and the UK. But there is literally nothing you can do about it because it's not a weapon culture at all. So yeah, I just wondered, like, is it that people are more dangerous over here? Is it to do? I don't know. It's a very complex
I
situation, I
I would
think.
be more worried being somewhere in the Middle East
Oh, yeah, yeah.
than anywhere
Oh
else.
yeah, that's a different story though, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
drugs more prevalent in the UK than they are here?
The drugs. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's
I think that's our people. That's what's wrong with, at least half, is
mm,
their brains are done. They're fried,
yeah.
and their only survival mode is to kill.
And a
drugs
lot of the
always-
drugs over here, it gets really bad because we're right next to the Mexican cartels.
You know, I have to say I have dealt with the cartel in when I was in New Mexico in what we did. No, I did not deal drugs. I was not. No, we used to raise roosters, and in Mexico, it is legal to fight roosters. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. But that is what our family did, not me. But we did deal with the cartel when we had to take them from New Mexico to Mexico, where we could take them to fight legally.
Right.
And the cartel in Mexico are where you have to, if you own a business, you're going to pay them what we would consider taxes, but it's actually to keep them safe from them. Otherwise, they're going to come in and kill you if you don't pay your whatever it is you owe them for just being there, for existing on their block. I've had veterinarians, doctors, very educated people that had to come do shovel work to make it in the U.S. because they ran out of their own country. It is wrong. It is very bad. And they are bringing drugs into our state, but they're not the only ones.
No. It's such a widespread issue, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's much more beyond that, totally.
It's sad all over, really.
Down
I admire China because you don't get this tap on the hand if you're out there being a drug addict. You're dead. You're gone. If you get caught, some countries you get caught stealing, your hand's cut off. It's gone. Think twice before you do something that stupid.
Yeah.
Our system is more humanitarian, which in a way it should be. But what good's it doing for the criminals? They have nothing to fear.
That's an interesting topic, definitely.
There are some countries down south of us, more like Central America and I believe also South America, where drugs literally run the country.
Yeah. Well, it's all money, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Money. One of the greatest evils, definitely. What about free healthcare? A lot of countries in Europe have free healthcare.
To me, that's a double-edged sword. Because if you have free healthcare, everybody gets the same treatment. So here,
you do have options to go private, though. There's always the option to go private.
Oh, there is. Okay. So that's different then. I know Canada, last I checked, does not have that option. Everybody has the same.
Right.
So if you worked hard enough to make more money, you still couldn't buy the best doctor to treat your condition.
I see. Okay.
So, what they call free healthcare here is state assist. And
that's what I've got.
It will keep you okay. It's not going to keep you comfortable if you are ever in a bad situation.
Okay. Yeah.
Treatment, I don't know. I don't know if they would even do that.
I always found it quite harsh when, say, somebody has a job and obviously your healthcare is, include your insurance and everything is dependent on that job. And if somebody gets really, really ill and they have to leave that job, they then lose their insurance. And I just think that is so brutal.
It is.
Because at the time that you really need help, they let you down.
I'm,
is.
I'm still technically employed at my place, and they got
Wow.
rid of my insurance because I hadn't been able to actually work there.
I just don't
They
understand that.
really screwed me over because it threw me into a 6-month nightmare for
Yeah.
insurance, not only for myself but also for my daughter.
You see, there are so many laws in, especially the EU. I'm not sure about the UK right now, but in the EU, it protects you. Like, if you get really ill, they cannot fire you. You know, you still have your job. You always have your job to go back to.
Yeah,
Even if you have a baby,
Mhm.
they cannot fire you for, you know, like years. So I just feel like that's really hostile just to do that to somebody when they need you the most.
officially they cannot fire you for that reason, but most states here are at will
Yep.
work, so they
Mm,
can fire you without even giving you a reason.
And you
yeah,
can also quit without giving a reason. Is
yeah,
there reason for having that?
Yeah.
yeah,
But it only works one way.
yeah.
But in my situation, because I am on workman's comp, they can't fire me.
Mm. Do you feel like because of this culture, there is less pride in work and your job because of this really crazy hire fire culture?
There's a lot of people that have no pride in what they do.
Yeah.
No.
It's
There
more
are
of,
some, but not a lot.
I think the mindset here is I have to work because I have to pay my bills.
Yeah.
My job is shit and I don't
Mm,
care anything about it. I just have to go there to do this. And I'm waiting for my boss to say the wrong thing so I can sue him and own the company. Well, that's not really how that works, but that
mm.
is the mindset.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, I have noticed definitely the standards of like cleanliness in stores and things is so much lower. You know, like the shopping carts are dirty and some of them don't work, and the baskets and just the floors, you know, like there's just so much that's not very well maintained.
Mhm.
That's
And
another reason why a lot of our restaurants get shut down because
yeah,
inspectors
also
go in and they find
restaurants.
bugs, cockroaches. Believe it or not, and the people at my work have said that we're not supposed to talk about this, but honestly, I don't give a shit about them. In ice cream, there is actually an accepted number of bugs.
There is. That's everywhere. That's in all
Yeah.
canned goods.
Mm,
That's in all foods because you cannot help that, a fly lands in it or whatever and you don't
mm,
know it. So there is amount of not just cockroaches, but anything.
Dog
Mice
legs.
parts in cheese, all kinds of things.
Yeah, they don't like us talking about that, but you know, screw me overall. I'm not going to
yeah.
do anything to help you.
I have to say that the quality of your food is so different. The amount of times I've opened a can or a jar of something and it's moldy or it's been
Really?
opened or
Oh, that I haven't seen, but
yeah, no, that's happened. Like I've only been here 2 years and that's happened at least 5 times.
oh,
There was this one story that was going around. I forget how long ago, but it was back during the time. These people ended up on Dr. Phil's show one
oh,
time. There was this woman. It was either a woman or a man transitioning to a woman going around opening up cartons of ice cream, licking it, closing it up,
Ew,
putting it back on the shelves,
that's horrendous. Yeah.
videoing it, and posting it. Um,
smart.
she ended up on Dr. Phil's show, but she also told Dr. Phil after I put it away and we cut down camera, I get that back and I buy it. Which
Mm,
that's not going to make me feel any better.
Well,
no, I
we had
definitely check
people
things now.
we had people injecting, and I don't remember if it was in Tylenol Anyway, it was in something.
Mm,
So we had people injecting poison. With
no.
Oh, I remember that. I think it was Thailand. Or that was like the late '80s.
yes, yes,
Yeah, I know exactly.
little
Mm,
bitty needles, so you couldn't tell.
that's awful.
And so they started using the protective, that cellophane on the top.
Yeah,
But what's that going to do for the side?
yeah.
My husband got a bottle, or it was a bottle of soda, and when he opened it, soda is pretty hard when it's okay. Well, this one was kind of soft, and I thought he set it down on the desk hard, and it started spewing out of a little tiny hole.
Oh no.
I said, I really hope you didn't drink that. And he said, I did drink a few drinks of it.
Oh
But,
no.
but, it's so easy to do.
Yeah, very easy. I have to say, there's a lot of. I think it's just the world. I don't think it's just here, but there's a lot of unhinged people going around and doing like these crazy things and these horrible things.
There
Um,
was a time, long time ago, when people would put
mm,
needles on the handles of the gas pumps.
Oh, they're still doing that. Now it's razor blades that they're putting on
no,
there. And the razor blades have a drug on them, like the
that's
date rape drug.
awful.
And, once you get cut, you're like, and you're done. You're not going to try to use that again. You're either going to go inside and let them know something's wrong, or you're going to leave.
Mm,
No matter what you do, you drive a little ways down the road and you start feeling ill and dizzy, and you can't drive, so you pull over and they
mm,
get you. Another big scam here has been children. They will set a child on the side of the road, usually 3 and under. And the child, of course, is sitting there crying. Any woman is going to stop
yeah.
and see what's wrong with that child. Don't ever do that. There is people either in the field, in the ditch, somewhere watching that child. As soon as you stop, you're ambushed. And
No.
so they recommend you keep on driving and you just call the police immediately.
Okay.
And speaking
It's
of children, there was a thing going around not for very long where people were putting razor blades on monkey bars.
yes, yes. And the other thing was somebody hands you a card. Like,
Mm.
oh, here's my card. I sell this or whatever. You touch the card, it's laced and it goes into your skin.
Oh my gosh.
It's
That's
so scary.
terrifying.
Yeah. And carrying a gun's not going to help you at that point
No.
because you're not
No,
going to pull it on somebody handing you a card.
no, no,
So
that's crazy.
it's
Yeah.
it is bad, and the culture is. I think a lot of it is. We were talking about kids and people being diagnosed. There's so much more diagnosis of ADHD or autistic or whatever. When I was growing up, autism didn't exist.
Mm,
And it honestly didn't exist. It wasn't that it wasn't diagnosed, it did not exist. Now, what are we doing to cause whatever is going on here? I don't know. But ADHD, it existed. I have it.
mm,
But you know what? You got your ass spanked and you start acting right.
mm,
You may be battling in your brain of, okay, I want to do this, but I have to do this. It may be a
mm.
battle, but you're going to win that battle because your ass is about to get spanked. So, that's a lot of it.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of trauma and undiagnosed trauma in a lot of people here. I say this because it's the only time in my life where this has happened twice in the 2 years that I've been here, that I've been in a store with my daughter just doing grocery shopping. And this lady comes over and she starts talking to me. And, you know, like, you guys are super friendly. I appreciate that. And she just talks to my daughter and, you know, have a conversation. And I'm like, okay, then, like, I'm used to the small talk. That's enough now. Like, I want to go now. I think I have one of those faces, but this happened twice where they then talk about religion.
Mm-hmm.
And she's there for a good 20 minutes talking to me about God. She blesses me. She tries to hold my hand and all the rest of it. And I'm so uncomfortable, like being British, I'm so uncomfortable with all of this. And there seems to be a lot of that around. I had one lady that was singing to me for a good 10 minutes, like hymns, and trying to get me to go to this church. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Thanks, though. Thanks for the free concert.
It's like somebody that belongs in a cult.
I have never had that happen.
I've got one of those faces. My husband makes fun of me for it. He's like, seriously, Kate, we cannot go anywhere without some person who is clearly unhinged comes up to you and starts doing weird stuff. Yeah.
You slept on the couch that night.
No. It's true, though. It is true. I just have one of those faces. But yeah, it's happened a lot more here. Like those are the two prominent ones, but I've had multiple times where people just unload onto me and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, why are you telling me about your
I actually had
huge
something
problems?
once. I was in Nevada, driving from Vegas to Reno, and I was
Right.
stopped at a gas station, and this guy stopped there. He was getting gas, and he noticed the back of my car. See, I've got the team's website on my back windshield.
Right.
So he's asking me, hey, what's that about? And I told him I got a paranormal team back in Indiana. And then he starts talking about this weird Loch Ness experience that he had. And I'm thinking, okay, the only reason you could have a Loch Ness experience is if you had actually gone to Scotland, and you don't look like the kind of guy that would be able to go to Scotland.
No. I really feel like there are so many lonely people here that just want to talk and have a connection. And the sad reality is, yes, it is nice to talk to you, but you are constantly thinking, what's your motive? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you saying that? Why are you unloading? Why are you touching me? And it's just, I don't know,
Touching you?
this uneasiness with people here.
I have the answer to that.
Mm.
You're an empath.
Oh, yeah. I've been
As an
told that a
empath.
few times. Yeah.
As an empath, you give off that vibe.
Okay, so it's a vibe thing, not a face thing. Okay.
And you give off that safe vibe that they can tell you things that they cannot tell other people. And you give off the vibe that you can feel that they're hurting or
Yeah.
that they can't talk to anyone else about it. And they just get to get it out and they're gone. Now, the lady
Yeah.
wanting you to go to church, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, that was
So maybe what
crazy.
you might want to do is go to one of them weird stores and get you a bunch of crazy looking shirts. Maybe spike your hair so that you look like a weirdo and people will start avoiding you.
How about this?
Yeah.
How about just wear crystal quartz and that'll all go away?
Okay, I'll try that. That seems like the safer option.
It blocks. It blocks and
Okay.
I had to have my daughter do that because she works in the public. She doesn't know anything about paranormal. She knows nothing about the word empath. She has no idea. And she's 32 years old now. And she does have bipolar.
Okay.
And she will not take meds for it because those meds make her feel different and she doesn't want to do that. So told her if she's not going to be on meds, you're going to have to control it yourself because you cannot be a bitch. That's all there is to it. So she has 5 kids and you can't do that.
Wow. Yeah.
But I had her wear a crystal because she said, Mom, I'm so drained after I go out in public or after I work.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah, I feel so drained.
She said, I feel everybody's emotions. She's just now figuring out that she feels everybody, and that's why she's drained.
Mm,
And she said, I can walk by somebody and feel sad, and then walk up, by a next person, and I'm just like overjoyed. And she thought it was her bipolar because you go through those up
yeah.
and down. But bipolar, you go up and down days, not seconds.
Mm,
So, I had her wear that crystal, and it has done a world of good. Both my daughters are the same way. And
that's interesting. Okay.
I've taught them how to cleanse it and charge it with the full moon, things like that. But
Mm,
it seems to make a difference, even though they don't really understand what it does.
yeah, sure. Oh, that's really interesting. Thanks, Adrian.
Don't like being around people. When I go shopping, I always try to do it like first thing in the morning or late at night when there's fewer people. I don't like being in crowds, and it's not that
Mm,
I get their emotions. It's not that at all. Although Adrian will probably tell you different. I just don't like being in crowds. I don't like people.
mm,
That's not true. You don't like the vibes you get off
I
of people.
I like certain people.
is it like the unpredictability of going into a crowd?
It's more like an uncomfortableness of being in a
Mm,
crowd, and a lot of that has to do with my hearing.
mm,
If there's like a group of 10 people and everybody starts talking at once, I cannot process it.
yeah, that makes sense.
If I get 5 people or more on here, I don't like it.
Mm,
I always try to keep it to a minimum. To a minimum, except like in this show here. But Adrian, Nick, and Eileen all know how I am.
mm.
So we're able to keep this show somewhat under control. Sometimes it doesn't happen.
Control. You're. Oh, whoops.
Yeah. I have actually left shows because there were too many people.
Yeah.
I have
Mm,
actually left shows. Um, Not this show, but I have left shows in the past.
Well, like Zach, because he can only hear from one side, and I've had to actually do this to see what exactly he's talking about, which I can only, doing this only plugs half of it.
yeah,
You still get hearing, but he's completely deaf on one side from his motorcycle accident. So he can't go to concerts anymore because
mm,
everything is from that one side, and it's so loud and so obnoxious for him. He cannot fly because the pressure change.
oh
It
yeah,
will actually cause such a migraine that it could explode his other.
yeah,
And, it's just so many things you don't even think about.
yeah, yeah. It's a
People,
lot. He's just gone.
We give him such a hard time. I swear, I don't know why he sticks around because we go so hard on him.
I was going to ask. I don't. I don't know why the US has the most conspiracy theories in the world. You guys love it over here, don't you? You love a good conspiracy theory.
I think it's because, and my husband and I fight about that, because
Mm,
I think it's because our government has actually, they have hidden so much,
mm,
and they have become so, I don't know what, there was some law that passed where they had to start declassifying some evidence.
right.
And some of that evidence was aliens.
Oh yeah, I've been keeping tabs on that with the UAPs, and yeah, very interesting.
And then we've started finding out because used to, when you would join the military, you had to have a certain series of vaccines.
Right.
And well, you still do. but those vaccines are supposed to be geared to where you're going so that you don't
Yeah.
get malaria or whatever the case might be. Well, what we've started finding out through declassification is that some of them were just trial drugs to see what would happen.
Oh, no way.
So if they're going to do that to us,
No.
what else are they doing to us? We have found that pharmaceuticals are not meant to make you healthy. They are
Well,
meant,
it's a business over here, isn't it? It's a huge business.
it's meant to keep you sick.
Right.
So that it's meant to take your pain away, like the opioids and things like that. Sure, it's going to take your pain away, but it's also going to make you addicted.
Yeah.
And
That's why I have to be careful, because that's what I get prescribed every time I have one of my surgeries is the hydrocodone, which is an opioid. And I always ask them to make sure to give me plenty of them so that I can wean myself off of it. Because
well,
if you stop cold turkey, it really hurts.
well, and see that's the thing because of his migraines, he has migraines 24/7. Now, how bad they get and how debilitating they get depends on the medicine he takes.
Mm.
Now, tramadol, hydrocodone, both opiates.
Mm.
Now, he decided one day he is sick of them throwing medication at him. And he's been on it. This is 10 years now.
Wow.
And he just stopped taking them. Didn't tell me. Just decided he's going to stop. Just like he stopped drinking, he stopped smoking.
Mm.
And he started feeling sick to his stomach. Couldn't function. And I'm like, what is going on? What's wrong with you? I'm not sick. I mean, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he later told me he hadn't been taking them. He's having withdrawals within 24 hours.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, oh, I'm not okay with this. But that's what they do. And the medication they give us, and it's not just that, it's anything.
Mm.
It's only meant to control the symptoms
Yeah.
or meant to cause other symptoms that are going to make you take other medication.
Yeah.
And that's where conspiracy theorists start. We know that's happening.
I have to say, you have a very different medicine culture over here.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
I think the UK is a little bit similar. Maybe we're not like overusing.
Mhm.
In Germany, it was so different, and also in Italy. It's even ibuprofen, paracetamol. Like we don't even have Tylenol; we have paracetamol in the EU, and it's quite rare to take that. Like you only really take that if you're really, really sick. And also a lot of the children medicine as well. You have so many things for kids and babies, but the best thing, like for example, when babies have gas pain, colic, the best thing ever in Germany, the midwife told me to give her fennel tea. Over here, when I've told people that, they're like, oh my God, you gave her fennel tea. What is that? They're not supposed to, like, babies can't have that, blah, 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 blah. It worked. It was the best thing ever, giving her fennel tea.
Yep.
But, like, people are so quick to give them medicine or things that are stronger, like to help with the symptoms, whereas the tea just alleviated all of that much better than any medicine can. So I was just really shocked at how different it is here with the medicine culture. Like natural healing isn't really a thing; it's more pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Yeah,
That's another thing that we have been programmed to, like what she was saying, is the medicine that we got to take
yeah,
all this chemical shit instead of
yeah.
going towards the herbals. And I know
There was
that
a lot of homeopathy as well. A lot of homeopathy available. Yeah,
I know that in my mind that there is a lot to the holistics
yeah,
and everything. but yet somehow I just can't seem to bring myself to that and get away from the pharmaceutical.
I think, especially with kids, you know, my go to is always homeopathy and natural. If
Mhm.
that doesn't work, of course, I'm going to go to more drastic measures and all the rest of it. But you don't even have that option here. Like, if you go to a doctor, they're just going to give you pills, pills, pills. They're not going to give you alternatives.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was actually looking into CBD oil,
Right.
um, not just for myself, but also for my daughter, because I have
Mm,
heard lots of reports where people use that for their autistic children, and it helped them greatly
wow.
for whatever they were going through. And I thought, okay, I'll talk to her doctor about it.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't do that. We don't have enough studies to have an informed, an educated uh, decision on stuff like that."
Yeah. But if you don't try, you'll never know.
Yeah, well,
You know?
Exactly, but at the same time, I would hate to try something new and then it just completely screws everything up.
But
yeah,
if it's herbal and homeopathy, it is very hard to screw things up unless they're taking very concentrated doses of it.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's trying to balance the body, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Right, and if it doesn't work and somebody notices that, then they can always call CPS on me. And when they do a
No
drug,
way.
Not for CBD.
well, I don't know. I do know that there is a hint of that THC in it.
Not enough. You can't even trace it. But here's the thing: if you look at, and it's all over TikTok now, which I love. It's amazing. Amish. Um,
Mm,
they don't go to the doctors. They never have. And I've actually made a little jar of Amish antibiotics,
oh,
and
okay.
it's whether it works. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I do lots of crystal herbal tinctures, things like that. Um, the only medication I'm actually on is melatonin, which
Mm,
is actually in your body to begin with, but I take melatonin at night to go to sleep.
yeah.
And if you push past that where it kicks you and you push past it, you're done because it's not going to stay there. It's
Mm,
only enough to make you go to sleep. And if you don't go to sleep, that's your fault because it ain't gonna, it's
yeah.
dead. But, I got off, I was on blood thinners because I had blood clots in my lungs. But that's because I took, for menopause, I took estrogen,
Right.
and that estrogen can cause blood clots in very few people, but it did me. And in
Wow.
fact, I was on the show, and I was like, after the show, I'm going to go in and see what's going on because I could hardly breathe. It hurt,
Mm,
and yeah, they kept me.
You
But
even leave in the middle of the show.
oh
yeah,
no.
yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't breathe.
I hope we're not going to get flagged up again for medical.
We might, but you know what?
Okay.
Whatever.
we're live, so for whatever reason, live shows seem to be
Okay.
verified better than if I upload something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't agree with the medical culture here.
Mm,
Um, there's like my parents, his parents, my parents. Uh, they smoke weed like cigarettes,
wow.
and it helps them.
Mm,
I have no problem with that. It's an herb of some sort,
yeah.
but does it do anything to you besides take pain? Yeah, I'm sure it burns some brain cells that you probably need. But at this
Yeah.
age, they're already gone.
Mm,
So
That's crazy.
whatever.
She's been telling us about this, and when I'm there, I don't smell it.
I don't know how in the hell you can't smell it. The whole house smells like it.
I don't smell it.
Because when people are here, they will go to their bedroom and open the window. They're very respectful about things like that, unless people want to smoke with them, and then they'll pass it around for you.
Oh, yeah, it's very different over here.
Yeah.
And also another thing, usually when I go into a house that has pets, I can smell pets.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely smell pets.
Mm.
Don't smell them.
I smell their nasty butts all day.
When they're close, then I can smell them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it's not just I walk into the house and it hits me. Because that happened one time. I actually walked into a single wide trailer that actually there's no exaggeration. 10 dogs, 10 cats,
Oh no.
rabbits, hamsters, gerbils, all in a single wide trailer. The people that were working at the park office warned us ahead of time. Hold your breath before you go in that door.
That is not okay. That's a point. Number one, the animals are not getting the one-on-one attention they need.
Right.
They're not getting
They were,
the care
they
they
were
need.
cages on top of cages, completely filled in the living room. They had no
That's not
cats.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs. 3 of them very large. We have a bird
They are.
Oh.
and one and a spider.
He has a very stubborn and persistent bird.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fish tanks
And a spider.
and a spider.
Well, tarantula.
Oh my
The-
gosh.
The spider is the least. She is so easy to take care of.
What wasn't 2 months ago?
Well, yeah, she would have been real easy to take care of. I thought she was dead. So apparently tarantulas molt,
Ew.
but she hasn't molted in like 5 years. So we thought, she's close to death. She's not going to molt anymore. She doesn't spin her little web anymore. So we thought she was done. All of a sudden I seen her in the corner of her cage and she's like this. And I thought, uh-oh. He's had her for 22 years.
Mm.
I'm touching her and she's not moving. Well, the first time she moved a leg just once. And I said, hey, she's gone. She's dying. So I left her alone to finish dying. And the next time I came, she wasn't moving at all. So I put her in a box, a little phone box. Put her in there, put her up on top of the fridge and said, hey, here she is. I did it so that he didn't have to look at her. And I said, he's going to go bury her. And like 4 days later, I was cleaning the house and found her on top of the fridge, forgot that I had put her in there, picked up this box and shook it to see if anything was in it. And I heard something. As I'm opening it, I remembered that I put the spider in there. And I'm not seeing 4 legs, I'm seeing 8 legs. And 4 of them are up like this at me. And I put the lid back on that box. I said, come get your spider. Well, she had molted.
That spider was mad.
She was very mad. And I had shook her. And this is their very vulnerable state because their little fangs are not hard. They can't hurt anything.
Oh.
And so, and I'm sure her body was really soft. And I had just shook her. So
Oh.
she's back alive. She's our zombie.
Yeah, needless to say, Zach got his baby back.
I'm glad because he was very, very upset about it.
I think I'm going to have nightmares tonight. That was horrendous, that story.
That's the least of what goes on around here.
Oh, man, I can't. No, not tarantulas. Oh,
My dad was a vet. I will deal with any animal. It
that's
makes
nice.
no difference to me. We had, of course, he was a doctor in Bulgaria, but when he came here, the language is different, so he couldn't catch on to the medical terminology fast enough to become a doctor.
Yeah.
So he was a veterinarian for the USDA.
Wow.
And he volunteered for the zoo. as a voluntary vet.
Yeah.
He would do all of the spay and neutering on all of our animals in our basement. It was that clean.
Wow.
Our garage, I mean, it was that clean. So there was times I slept with a tiger in my bed,
Oh.
little bitty one. And I stayed with it for probably about 3 weeks, and then it got too old and would start playing too rough and start cutting you. So it went back. I had a camel in my yard. I killed the elephant in the zoo. Yeah, I've had the monkey. All of them. They've all been around us. Wolf, the leader of the pack of the wolves, got loose, and I didn't know it. I'm in 6th grade, walking home from school, and this dog comes near me. I took my backpack and wrapped it around its neck to take it home.
Oh my gosh.
When I got there, my grandma was standing at the door, said, "Stay. Get in here. Leave that there." And I'm like, "I'm not bringing it in. I'm just going to sit here and play with it." And she said, "Get in here."
Oh no.
Of course, I'm not going to. And my dad shows up and he says, "You need to get away from it. Get away. Get away." I said, "Y'all need to stop. You need to find his home." We know his home. Get away from it. The zoo was half a mile down the road.
Oh my goodness.
So they came, of course, with the truck and the dart gun and the little lead rope. And it wouldn't, like, I said, "Don't shoot it." I stood in front of it and I'm like, "Don't shoot it. Don't shoot it." And nobody told me what it was. And finally the zookeeper said, "If it will walk to the truck with her, let her do it."
Oh.
And so I got to walk it to the truck. After it got put in there, they told me what it was. And
Oh my goodness.
okay, but it was so sweet. It didn't click. I'm 6th grade. And so when I went to go visit it, of course, once it got back with the pack, it was a whole different. I couldn't touch it. It wouldn't come to me, things like that.
Yeah.
But, it was things like, if it has to do with an animal, I'm all for it. Snakes, I don't care. It's,
Oh. Yeah, no, that's good.
No snakes for me.
I don't mind snakes. It's just spiders. Spiders, big spiders. Yeah. No.
Australia with those great big ones that look like plates.
Nope.
I don't think I could. Well, I mean, I could, but
Can you imagine?
The Australians, the wolf spiders.
Can you imagine if that jumped on your face? Like, that would be it for me. No way.
We see it on Alien all the time.
I think my husband, the other day, there was a little spider, just one of those little black house spiders. And he said, "Hey, there's this spider." I said, "Okay." And pretty soon it was on my lap. It walked from the couch to my lap. And I'm like, "Okay." Well, the dogs are right there. The dogs are going to be curious. They're going to kill it. So I picked it up, put it on the wall. And it wasn't 30 seconds. It come right back. And it was on my shirt. I'm like, "I'm trying to save you. You need to."
Aww.
But yeah, the animals know. They know when you're safe, and they know. I wish they knew a little more when you weren't, but.
I think the most terrifying thing that's ever happened is in Italy. Lived in an apartment building, and it was a really hot summer's evening. So we had the balcony doors open and all the windows open. A bat flew in.
Oh.
It was like evening. The bat flew in, and it was pure chaos. It was like squeaking. It was going all around the room. Husband freaked out because he was like, "Oh my God, it's going to like, ah." And I was like, "It's okay. It's okay." It took us like an hour to try and shoo it out of the window. And yeah.
We run into bats half the time we go on an investigation.
Do you know why it was squeaking?
Is it because it was getting its bearings for the echo
sound? Yes.
Yeah. The echo
I had
sound,
one. We had one in the kitchen downstairs. And it was only about maybe 6 inches tall.
Yeah.
And it was up on the, I don't know how it got its little claws in the between the roof and the ceiling, but it was laying there. And, broad daylight, my husband goes, hey, we have a problem. I was like, what? Walk in there. I said, we don't have a problem. That's a bat. And I took it and put it in a little box and put it up in the rafters until nighttime. I was going to go put it outside. Well, somehow it wasn't comfortable, got out, dogs got it. So it had a little hurt wing. So here I am holding this thing, its wings wrapped around my little finger, and I'm looking at this thing going, I hope it don't bite because
Yeah.
I don't know if it bites. But, they come in here all the time. And it's just that opening. And they think it's a cat.
Yeah.
So it's an opening. And then once they're in there, they realize there's too many more openings.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to know, the cat was going mental.
Oh.
I was like, don't you dare, Mochi. Don't you dare try and, eat it or something. So, yeah.
The dog did get one of mine. And it didn't bloody it or anything, but it killed it. So, I mean, I'm sure it's rare that they do carry rabies, but it's not like they say.
No. They are really cute.
They are.
When you can just admire them and view them from a safe space, they're adorable. But when it's flapping around your house, it's just pure chaos.
Have you seen those little pet spiders? They're jumping spiders that people have now.
No, I haven't. Oh no, not jumping.
Oh yeah, they're amazing because they are not even the size of your fingernail. I mean, they're just so tiny. You can barely see them, and they're about half the size of your fingernail. And they zoom in on their little faces, and they are the most adorable little things. And they will stand up and wave. I know that's not what they're doing, but they'll wave and you put your finger down and they'll come up to it. They're asking you to pick them up because they're domesticated.
Aww.
I want one of those so bad, but I know I do not have time for all that stuff.
Yeah.
I would not want one crawling all over me.
I keep them. They come in during the winter, of course they do. So do mice and everything else. Try to get warm. I don't do mice. They become extinct very quickly because if you put them out, they're coming right back in.
Oh yeah.
So I don't do that. But I did have one. Somebody put down one of those sticky traps. And that was the most inhumane thing I have ever seen in my life. If you're going to kill it, kill it. But to throw it away alive, to starve to death, and be scared in that sticky trap, no.
That's a bit mean, yeah.
I can't do that. You can kill them with a fly swatter. I mean, if you were actually able to hit them with a fly swatter, they die. That easy.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize they were that fragile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. I didn't either until I did it.
I do have a mouse, maybe two, in the garage. When a couple months ago, when I was going through my Halloween stuff to see what I was going to be able to put out, I saw that one of my cords had been chewed off. Yeah. And,
Oops.
and it was pushed right up against the wall. So when I pulled it out, there's a little hole in the lattice work. No, the pegboard. And I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm going to have to get you.
Yeah, that's not good.
Dude.
Too late.
Why wouldn't electrocute itself?
Dogs don't either.
It's not plugged in.
Yeah,
It's just a Halloween thing that I had. I just had it pushed up against the wall, out of the way. The cord was hanging down there, and where the mouse had chewed through the pegboard, there was that cord, and it chewed through it.
Well, dogs though, I had a dog that used to eat Christmas lights on the tree, plugged in, and never once did it electrocute itself. What killed it was a car. I mean, it chewed through 4 sets of Christmas lights.
Wow.
I was livid.
I used to have rabbits when I lived in the trailer a mile down the road, I used to have rabbits come up and chew on my thing. First, I thought somebody was coming up and cutting them. Then
Yeah.
I got one of them little closed circuit cameras.
Mm.
Put it out there, and it turned out to be a rabbit. Came right
Oh,
up
that's
to
so
the thing,
cute.
mouth right on the cord. Well, there we go.
Rabbits, yeah, they're just big rodents, really. I don't know if they're really part of the rodent family, but they're rodents. And I used to own a skunk. We had it descented. I owned a squirrel and a raccoon. And
Oh,
those things are amazing domesticated. They're so sweet.
oh. Raccoon would be cool, definitely.
Of course, you don't go out there and just pick one up.
Grab one. Yeah.
It don't work like that. But yeah, it was left at birth, and I raised it. But
Oh.
animals, yeah, I don't care what it is. Apparently, men too.
Yeah,
They're animals. It's all good.
just another form.
Yeah, they're more animalistic than animals sometimes.
So predictable.
I wish if it was predictable, it'd be okay. I think I could deal with predictable.
Yeah,
Oh, holy shit! It's 9 o'clock.
Yep. I was about to say, I think I'm going to go to bed soon. It's 10 p.m.
Do we have the other show behind us tonight?
they are on, but they're not on the page for whatever reason.
Oh my gosh! Probably because we went over.
Well, I think what it is because half the time they have problems actually getting the show to go live on the page like everybody else is.
Yeah.
Tonight they're not on the page; they're on YouTube, but they're not on the page.
Hmm.
You know what? Okay, we'll just stay on.
Aw. No, it's been really great talking to you guys. We definitely have to do this again very soon because I still have loads of questions. We didn't even get to the paranormal side. So, yeah.
Well, why don't you come back on next week? We don't have a guest.
Yeah, that would be good. Thank you. Yeah,
Come back
because
on.
this was more like culture and countries and all that side. But yeah, I have so much paranormal to ask and mysteries and yeah.
All right. Well, we will have you on the show next week
It
then.
would be a pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You see, we still have people watching us, but nobody has commented for the last half hour. Jill, where are you?
She commented last. She's talking about
Yeah,
her
an
walking.
hour ago. This is when we're talking about weapons.
Yeah.
Where we go, just says state.
Oh, we have a new viewer, Skeleton Iris.
We're getting ready to get off for the night.
Yeah, we've been on for 3 hours. Well,
I don't think we've ever done that.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it.
it never does when you have a good conversation.
Definitely. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
We'll do it again next week.
That happens to a lot of our viewers. They end up not coming on until right when we're getting ready to stop the show.
Oh, next week. There's always next week.
Yeah. So, okay, so you're in Central Time. Okay, so for those of you out there in the audience, thank you for playing along. We will have Kate back on next week.
Thank you.
Also, tomorrow I will have the 13th Dimension on with John Griffin II. We're going to be talking about his new show, The Path to Communication. I actually have a song on there that three songs that he's going to have played at some point in there. And I think that's it.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. We will check in with you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.